Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through all the noise and really get you the essential knowledge you need. Fast.
Yeah, leveling up your understanding without getting totally bogged down. That's the idea.
Exactly. We know you want to be well-informed, and we're like your express lane to the insights that actually matter.
Think of us as your personal research crew. We sift through everything, pull out those key aha moments, stuff you can use.
So today, we're plunging into bodyweight exercise. The big question. Can you really get totally fit without a gym packed with equipment?
It's a good one. And we're drawing a lot from this book, Never Gymless, an excuse-free system for total fitness.
Right. Never gymless.
Yeah, the author, he really sets out to give you a complete training system using little, maybe even no equipment at all.
And it builds on his earlier stuff, right? Like the underground guide to warrior fitness.
Exactly. It shows how his thinking on fitness has, evolved over time.
What really caught my eye was that he actually used his wife's pregnancy as a kind of real-world test for these principles.
Yeah. He wanted to refine everything before the baby arrived. That's commitment.
It tells you something, doesn't it? About how much he believes in this approach.
Absolutely. So our mission for this deep dive, we want to explore just how effective bodyweight exercise really is.
Clear up some myths, too.
Definitely. Clear up misunderstandings, and most importantly, give you some practical ways you can use this stuff right now for your own fitness.
Whether you've got a home gym or, just your living room floor.
Precisely.
Okay, so let's get into it. This big debate. Body weight versus weights. It feels like people really dig their heels in.
Oh, for sure. You hear some pretty extreme views, like some bodyweight folks might say weight training's dangerous, makes you slow, stiff.
Especially for martial artists, maybe.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And then on the flip side, you got the weightlifters saying, no way, you can't build real strength with just your body.
It gets pretty polarized.
It really does. What's interesting is the author, he actually thinks both are effective if you use them right. But he makes a really strong point about body weight being just way more convenient.
Right. You are your own gym, always available.
Exactly. No fees, no waiting around. And the book hits those questions head on. Can you get seriously strong?
Yeah. Like, is it enough for athletes,
Yeah.
fighters? Can you compete at a high level?
And he uses this pretty blunt quote, paraphrasing Clint Eastwood.
Oh, yeah.
Opinions are like, well, you know the rest. Everyone's got one.
Right.
His point is that these arguments are often just bias, not based on, actual experience with both methods.
Well, that makes sense. If you only lift heavy, you might think push-ups are easy.
Or if you struggle with push-ups, you think getting strong without weights is impossible.
Yeah.
And the book really speaks to people who maybe don't have easy gym access. The author even says his earlier program, Infinite Intensity, did use equipment. Dumbbells, sandbags.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but his shift back to mostly body weight in Never Gymless, that acknowledges the reality for a lot of people. Gear isn't always available.
So it's about being self-sufficient, training no matter what.
Exactly. And remember, the tool, body weight, weights, bands, whatever, it's just a means to an end.
The end being.
Becoming a well-rounded, capable athlete. We've seen top fighters succeed using mainly body weight. Others used weights.
So it's not the tool itself, it's the work and the plan.
Bingo. Hard work, consistency, smart programming, those are the keys no matter what you're lifting or not lifting.
And body weight is super practical for groups, isn't it?
Hugely practical. Imagine 10 athletes needing different weights for machines. It's chaos.
Right.
Body weight. Train everyone together anywhere. No gear needed. That's why it's huge in martial arts, wrestling, boxing gyms.
It's that raw, results-focused thing. And it sounds like the author contrasts that with, like, the fancy commercial gym scene.
He does. He calls it the fitness industry's web of deceit. A bit harsh, maybe, but
What his point is.
his point is those expensive machine workouts, they might look slick, but maybe aren't as effective as the brutal, simple bodyweight stuff you see in old-school boxing gyms.
Because machines isolate muscles too much.
Exactly. They often miss those integrated 3D movements you need for sports, for life, really.
Yeah.
He references Mel Siff, a big name in sports science,
Okay.
saying relying too much on machines can mess with your neuromuscular coordination, brain and muscles working together smoothly. Machines don't always train that well.
Okay, so it's effective, convenient.
Yeah.
But what about this idea that bodyweight training is, I don't know, too old school for sports science?
Yeah, that's a really key misconception the book tackles, this
Yeah.
kind of too hardcore for science attitude.
Right, like just grind harder.
Exactly. Some folks think if you just push yourself to the limit, that's enough. Hit a wall, just push even harder.
But sheer effort isn't always smart effort.
Precisely. His example, running a marathon, super hard,
Yeah.
right? But terrible training for a sprinter needing explosive power.
Good point.
So he stresses that ignoring basic science, gradual progression, recovery, periodization, which is like cycling intensity. Ignoring that stuff is a mistake. It doesn't matter if it's body weight or barbells. Dismissing science is often just avoiding the complexities of good training.
So the core principles apply universally. And let's be clear, body weight isn't magic, right? No easy shortcut.
Absolutely not. The book hammers this home. Hard work is essential. Period. No matter the method.
No shortcuts to elite fitness.
None. Anyone saying otherwise, probably selling something. You got to put in the effort. Consistently.
Which leads to a core idea in the book, the SA principle. Can you unpack that for us?
SA stands for specific adaptation to imposed demands.
Okay.
Basically, your body adapts specifically to the stress you put on it. You impose a demand exercise, and your body changes to handle that specific demand better.
So if I only curl dumbbells,
Your biceps get stronger, but your legs don't magically improve much. The key is, want to get better at X, you got to train X.
so if my training is always the same,
Yeah.
my body just stops adapting as much.
Pretty much. That's why he warns against just doing push-ups and squats forever. Once your body gets good at them, they're not challenging enough. No challenge, no big adaptation.
You need new challenges to keep improving.
Exactly. New stimuli, different demands. Don't just stick to the same few things if you want long-term progress.
And this ties into avoiding plateaus and, frankly, boredom, too.
Totally. A good program should work long-term, not just for a few weeks. Same old exercises. You hit a wall, and yeah, it gets boring fast. Bad for motivation.
So variety isn't just for fun, it's fundamental for progress.
Right. Vary the exercises, the volume, how much you do, and the intensity. And crucially, cycle that intensity. Allow for recovery.
Like 3 or 4 weeks hard, then an easier week.
Yeah, that's a common, effective strategy. Lets your body recover, rebuild, creates a sort of wave pattern. Push, then ease off to consolidate.
Because trying to go 100% every single workout just leads to burnout.
Or overtraining. You get stronger between workouts during recovery. But, and this is important, don't use recovery as an excuse to slack off. You need to train intensely enough to need recovery in the first place. It's a balance.
Got it. Push hard, then recover smart. The book also makes this sort of sobering point about how rare actual physical fitness is becoming.
It does kind of ask you to look around. How many truly fit people do you see day to day versus maybe people carrying extra weight or looking sedentary?
So what you call?
Makes you realize fitness isn't the default anymore. You have to pursue it intentionally.
Which loops back to being purposeful with training. Every exercise should have a why.
Absolutely. Purpose-driven training, he calls it. Connect everything back to your goals. Think about the demands of your sport or just your life.
A marathon runner trains differently than a powerlifter.
Exactly. Different fitness profiles, different needs. So for someone like a fighter...
Their training has to build that specific mix of speed, power, endurance.
Right. It needs to be carefully designed to develop all those qualities so they actually work in the ring.
Okay, let's dig into strength itself. The book talks about different kinds of strength.
Right. It starts basic. Strength is overcoming resistance with muscle. Simple enough.
But then it gets more nuanced.
Yeah, because there are different types of strength relevant to athletes, especially combat athletes. Understanding these is key. Just being strong isn't the whole picture.
Makes sense. Facing an opponent requires more than just raw power.
Definitely. So the book breaks it down into 4 main types: absolute strength, explosive strength, speed strength, and strength endurance.
Absolute strength is like your max lift, top-end power.
Exactly. Max force under optimal, sometimes even involuntary conditions. Then there's explosive strength.
That's crucial for athletes, right? Quick, powerful moves.
Super crucial. Generating significant force fast. Think a punch, a jump shot. Developed with fast, powerful movements. Like depth plyometric push-ups are a great example later in the book. They amp up your nervous system response.
Okay. And speed strength, moving light things fast.
You got it. Rate of force development with low resistance. And finally, strength endurance.
Resisting fatigue while keeping good form.
Yes. And this one gets overlooked a lot. People chase max strength numbers and forget about endurance.
And that myth, you can't get strong with high reps, doesn't apply here.
Not for strength endurance, especially for fighters. Max strength training helps bit, sure, but it's not enough for maintaining technique when you're exhausted in round 3.
You need specific training for that.
Right. The time under tension is different. Max strength is brief, intense. Strength endurance is longer, sustained effort.
And this brings in reactive strength. That sounds important for quick changes of direction.
Very important. It's that quick switch from lengthening a muscle under load eccentric to shortening it powerfully concentric.
Like landing a jump and immediately jumping again.
Exactly. Or throwing punches in combination. It uses the stretch shortening cycle, like stretching a rubber band then letting it snap back. More power.
Minimizing that transition time boosts the next move.
Got it. What about high reps and fast twitch fibers? Good question. High reps build endurance, yes, but they often don't hit those powerful fast twitch fibers hard enough. The intensity is usually too low in something like high rep bodyweight squats.
So your body relies on the slower, less powerful fibers.
Pretty much. That's why variety is key. Different exercises, different intensities hit all the fiber types.
But the cool thing is the Never Gymless program aims to target all these strength types using mostly bodyweight stuff.
Exactly. You don't need a fancy gym to build high-level functional strength across the board. And it includes conditioning, too, targeting those short-burst anaerobic systems and the aerobic system, too.
Okay, let's talk gear. Minimal gear. The pull-up bar gets a lot of love in the book.
It really does. He contrasts the obsession with the bench press.
Yeah, Monday is International Bench Day.
Ah, right. Contrast that with the often neglected pull-up bar. Huge potential there for strengthening your whole backside. Posterior chain, often ignored.
Got to train push and pull. Balance.
Absolutely. For balance, for function. And if you don't have a bar...
Tree branches. Sounds a bit risky.
He does say be careful. But yeah, sturdy branches, strong door frames if they're solid, or sling a rope or towel over something high, great for grip too.
What about those outdoor gymnastic rings?
Fantastic tool. Cheap playground rings, hung securely. They open up tons of exercises, add that instability challenge.
And then the muscle up. Sounds intimidating.
It's a beast. Full body power move. Basically a pull-up flowing straight into a dip. Needs strength, speed, coordination, and enough headroom.
Right, you got to clear the bar.
Yeah, better outdoors usually. He likes doing them at playgrounds sometimes. Adds variety.
And rope climbing. That's serious old school strength.
Incredibly demanding. Highly recommended if you can set one up. Amazing for pulling strength, forearms, hands. He rigged one up in a tree.
You can use your feet.
Totally fine starting out. Goal is maybe upper body only, then the L climb legs straight out.
Wow. And inverted rope climbs. Upside down.
Yeah, that's advanced stuff. Huge pulling strength needed. Plus, getting over the fear. Definitely master the regular climb first. Safety first.
It sounds like a mental challenge, too.
Yes.
And grip strength, easy to forget, but crucial.
So crucial. Real world stuff. Grabbing something quick, hold it on. Combat sports, obviously.
Yeah.
He also mentions side-to-side pull-ups as a step towards one-arm pull-ups.
Okay, so for people stuck on pull-ups, hitting a plateau, what's the advice? Just keep grinding.
No, actually, that's usually counterproductive. The key is variety. Change things up.
Yeah.
Different grips, different rep ranges. If you're stuck at 5 reps, don't just keep failing at 6. Try doing multiple sets of, say, 3 reps. Stop before failure.
So more total reps, but in smaller chunks.
Exactly. It lets you train more often without frying your system. Maybe do 10 sets of 3, then 10 sets of 2. Short rests.
So you can even do stuff between sets.
Yeah, like bodyweight squats, keep the workout flowing, rest different muscles. Pyramids are good too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1 reps. Mixes it up.
So the message is, do pull-ups consistently, but be smart about varying the approach to keep progressing. Now push-ups, same idea. More than just the base.
Oh, absolutely. Just changing hand position changes everything.
Yeah.
Wider hands, more chest, closer hands, like diamond push-ups, way more triceps.
And you can make them harder in other ways, too.
Definitely. Push-ups on a medicine ball challenges your core stability like crazy. Elevating your feet makes it harder. Elevating hands and feet on blocks increases range of motion, makes it tougher.
What about dive bomber push-ups?
Great exercise. Close grip version hits triceps hard. Put a medicine ball under one hand, even more stabilization needed.
And the one-arm push-up progressions.
Ooh.
Those look intense.
They are. Start wider stance, lift one foot. Then the one-arm on leg, push-up, major core work. Doing them on rings. Super unstable, super hard.
And the ultimate push-up challenge.
Maybe the one-arm dive bomber.
Yeah.
Needs strength, fluidity, rhythm. He suggests mastering the one-arm down first, that's the up phase, without the controlled lowering.
Okay, endless progressions for push and pull. What about other stuff like handstands, plyometrics?
Yeah, supplemental exercises, handstand, push-ups, even against a wall, great for shoulders. Add a weight vest for more challenge. He pushes back against the circus trick idea.
Says it's practical strength for fighters.
Exactly. Overhead pressing power. Then plyometrics for explosive strength. But big caution here.
Need a solid strength base first.
Absolutely. He recommends being able to do at least 40 good push-ups before trying plyo push-ups, and don't do them too often, maybe 2-3 times a week. High impact.
But done right, they're great for power.
Fantastic. Basic plyo push-up. Explode off the floor, hands leave the ground, max height, minimum ground time, add a clap midair.
Then depth plyos.
Yeah.
From blocks.
Yes. Start on blocks, drop down, explode up. Increases the stress, the range, more advanced is multiple claps. Or the one-arm plyo push-up. Needs serious power and coordination.
Sounds risky if you're not ready.
He addresses safety. Says if you're prepared, it's no riskier than, say, hitting a heavy bag hard. He thinks arguments against plyos in combat sports are illogical if you're conditioned.
And his point about never outgrowing bodyweight exercise, these advanced plyos prove it.
For sure. Triple clap push-ups. You can always make it harder. He warns against kids ditching body weight too early for weights. Max strength doesn't automatically mean explosive power.
Which is key for fast sports.
Right. But for the average person just wanting general fitness, do they need triple clap push-ups?
Back to purpose-driven training.
Exactly. Why do advanced plyos if you don't have competitive goals needing that power? Plyos are for explosive strength and well-conditioned athletes, not for weight loss. Other methods are better for general fitness goals.
Okay, let's hit the lower body. Squats. Beyond the basic version.
Definitely. He talks flat heel versus raised heel squats, acknowledges debates, but says find what works for you. Bodyweight squats are amazing for lower body endurance, crucial for fighters that legs are gone feeling.
And you can use squats in conditioning workouts too.
Yeah, dedicated squat sessions are part of conditioning, but big warning.
Yeah.
Don't only do high rep squats.
Why not?
He gives an example. Guy could do hundreds of squats, but was out of shape for running, couldn't do a glute ham raise. No single exercise does it all. Plus, high rep squats often involve pacing, not max speed on every rep.
Got it. The book mentions Tabata squats too.
Yeah, that Tabata protocol, 20 seconds max effort, 10 seconds rest, 8 rounds, just 4 minutes total. Brutal but effective. Boosts anaerobic capacity and aerobic fitness, VO2 max. Works great for bodyweight squats.
What about adding resistance bands to squats?
Great way to focus on pure strength, especially at home without a rack. He even shows how to make a simple band platform.
Now, one-legged squats from a platform. Some say that's cheating.
He tackles that head on, says the goal is strength, not winning a pistol squat contest. If the platform helps you do the move correctly and build strength, use it, especially while you're working up to the unassisted version. He tried it, didn't hurt his functional strength. Adjust as needed to get the benefits.
Focus on the training effect. Makes sense. There's a sample leg circuit too.
Yep. Combines things like burpees, lunges, squats. Lunges are another great one, good for beginners. Build single leg strength. Add a vest to make them harder. Good form is key.
And then cart pushing.
Really? Yeah. He calls it highly underused, underrated, great for lower body strength and conditioning. Get a partner to steer in, neutral. You push from behind. Awesome finisher for an outdoor workout.
That sounds intense. What about hamstring specifically? Glute ham raise gets top marks.
Huge recommendation. Maybe the best hamstring exercise. Often super challenging, even for strong squatters. You can do it on a GHR bench or with a partner holding your feet. Slow down, powerful up.
Can make it harder.
Static holds partway up. Add weight eventually. But it's okay if it's too hard at first. Work towards it. Oh, and calf raises. Don't forget calves.
Right.
Shock absorption, knee stability. Single leg, elevate toes for more range. Add a vest.
Okay, strength and endurance covered. Back to lower body explosiveness.
Yeah.
Not just about weights.
Right. Big mistake thinking weights are the only way to jump higher or run faster. Lots of successful jump programs lean heavily on bodyweight plyos.
Like what?
Lateral jumps, side to side over something. Explosive step-ups, pushing hard off one leg, switching midair. Squat jumps. Ankle hops, quick jumps just from the ankle scabs. And long jumps or broad jumps test and build power.
Oh, loads of options for power without equipment. Now, isometrics? Sounds a bit mysterious.
Yeah, often misunderstood, but really valuable for strength, especially with no gear. The book credits Alexander Zass, father of isometrics, got incredibly strong as a POW pulling against bars and chains. Bruce Lee was a big fan too.
So why aren't they more popular if they work?
Partly the rise of bodybuilding, maybe just misunderstanding how to use them. One issue is strength gains are often specific to the joint angle you train.
So if I only do an isometric hold halfway through a curl.
You get strongest there.
Yeah.
But you can overcome that. Combine isometrics with dynamic moves.
Oh.
Strategically mix them in. The author used isometric presses to break through overhead press plateaus. The strength transferred.
And they're good for that initial burst of power, starting strength.
Exactly, like starting a punch. You need force instantly. So isometric training at that starting joint angle makes perfect sense. He suggests training different angles for different punches, start, middle, end.
How long should you hold for explosive strength?
Short, max effort, but no more than 5-6 seconds. Longer holds can actually hurt speed and coordination, different from training absolute strength where you might hold longer.
And this static dynamic protocol, iso, then dynamic.
Right. Isometric hold immediately followed by an explosive move using the same muscles. Example, max wall press for 5 seconds, then bang out plyo push-ups. Research shows this combo builds speed strength better than dynamic alone, maybe 20% better.
And you can do isometrics often
Yeah.
because they're not causing muscle damage.
Generally, yes. They stress the nervous system more than the muscles, so brief sessions can often be done daily. Studies support daily isometrics for strength gains. Now, adding a daily workout might be tough,
Sure.
but using that static dynamic combo within your existing workouts, very practical way to get the benefits.
What are some easy bodyweight isometric examples?
Wall presses at different angles, chest, shoulders, even calves. Hamstring curls against a sturdy table, just holding the bottom of a push-up or squat. Sport-specific stuff like holding a punch position. Neck training against hand resistance.
Can you use bands too?
Definitely. Use a band that's too strong to complete the rep with. You hit a point where you can't move further. Boom, isometric contraction. Bands have more give than a wall, which is interesting. Combine band isometrics with full-range band reps for that static dynamic effect. He also briefly mentions old-school isometric devices.
So, proven results, but still some skepticism out there.
Yeah, critics often haven't really tried them properly or understood how to integrate them.
Okay, let's move to the core. Huge buzzword, but the book says it's more than just abs.
Way more. Yeah, the core craze is real. Lots of gadgets out there. The book slams most infomercial gadgets as overpriced and ineffective.
But it also criticizes just doing basic sit-ups and crunches.
Right. Some people ditch the gadgets but just revert to sit-ups, which is incomplete. The core isn't just the six-pack rectus abdominis. It's obliques, transverse abdominis, back muscles like erector spinae, multifidus, QL, hip flexors. Even glutes and hamstrings get involved.
And sit-ups miss a lot of that.
They mainly hit flexion. They miss extension, rotation, side bending, stabilization, can even lead to imbalances if you ignore the lower back.
So the core links upper and lower body, center of power.
Absolutely critical link, center of mass. Minimizes injury risk, provides stability, boosts power in everything, punching, kicking, lifting, running. Variety is key here too. Don't just do the same 2 core exercises forever.
What are some good starting points from the book?
Basic crunches with a pause at the top. Lying hip swings for obliques. Planks for stability. Then harder stuff. Bicycle crunches. Good pace. Legs off ground. V-ups can hold a weight.
And do them in circuits.
Good approach. Minimal rest between exercises. Rest after the circuit. Repeat 3 times. He gives a sample beginner circuit. Bands are great here too. Side crunches, side bends with band resistance. Band chops and slams for rotational power. Band pull-throughs for the posterior chain low back, glutes, hams.
Connecting core strength to punching power seems key for combat athletes.
Big connection. Bands can help train that rotational power for hooks, uppercuts, crosses. Power comes from the ground up through the core, not just the arms. He suggests a band punching workout, maybe starting isometrically.
Okay, so most gadgets are bad, but any low-tech tools get a thumbs up.
Yes. The ab wheel or double roller.
Yeah.
Simple, cheap, very effective.
Kneeling rollouts to start.
Good starting point. The standing rollout, though, that's a full-body killer. It takes months to progress to. Reversing the movement is the really hard part. Use a wall to limit the range as you get stronger. He calls it one of the best total body strength builders. Shares his own struggle and determination to master it.
And there are even harder variations.
Yeah.
L rollouts, T rollouts.
Yeah, using 2 wheels, rolling out diagonally or sideways. Major core and upper back challenge. Wheel-assisted one-arm rollouts are a step towards the crazy difficult unassisted one-arm rollout.
So again, many core exercises are really full body integration. What about the bridge exercise?
The arched static hold. Hands and feet on floor, hips up. Hits similar muscles to wall walks. Good to alternate with L-sits for a quiet workout. But he notes there's controversy. Some say it's dangerous for the spine. Others say it's essential.
And neck rolls.
Good for neck strength, flexibility. Do them gently, maybe on a towel. Good finisher for core work.
How do you structure advanced core routines? Not cookie cutter.
No, gotta
Yeah.
tailor it. Start with your hardest exercises rollouts, L-sits while you're fresh. Finish with less intense stuff like band work, frequency. He trained core 3 days a week, even advanced stuff. disagrees with experts who say that's too much, mentions Bruce Lee trained abs daily. Body can handle more than we think. Final point here, lots of strong people, fewer conditioned people.
Right. Strength versus conditioning, leading us nicely into high-speed conditioning.
Exactly. Need conditioning to use that strength effectively when things get tough. Where to train? Parks, playgrounds, hills are great. Grass fields, tracks for sprints. Hill sprints are awesome for power and anaerobic endurance.
And the star exercise for conditioning, the burpee.
Ah,
Yeah, the infamous burpee. Brutal full-body conditioner. Benchmark test. He breaks down the steps. Advanced folks aim for 100 under 10 minutes. Gives an example of a 45-year-old woman crushing a burpee race.
built down version.
Squat thrust, no push-up, no jump. Or burps includes the push-up, no jump. Still gets the heart rate flying.
What about using fillers in circuits?
Less intense moves like mountain climbers, jumping jacks, split jumps. You slot them in between harder stuff like burpees or sprints. Keeps the heart rate up during rest periods. They get harder as you get more fatigued.
Okay, and running conditioning, sprints, intervals, hills.
Foundational stuff. Sprints are short, max effort, under 200 meters. Intervals are high-intensity work, then rest recovery. 400-meter intervals are a classic hit aerobic and anaerobic systems, hard. Time-based intervals work too if you don't have a track. Then, enhanced interval training, EIT, mixing running and resistance.
Yeah, overcomes the upper body limitation of just running. Example, 400-meter run, then immediately do push-ups. Or burpees, followed by a 400-meter run. Super effective whole body conditioner.
And finally, integrated circuit training, ICT.
Blends everything. Combine a few exercises, fast pace, continuous, mixes strength, endurance, power, reinforces training multiple qualities together. He gives a sample finisher, descending reps of push-ups and squats, maybe with a vest. Contrasts this with only doing high reps. Says that alone doesn't prep you for competition intensity. High reps are good for mental toughness when you're already tired, like a finisher.
Okay, massive amount of training. Let's switch to fuel nutrition. Seems like the book keeps it simple.
Tries to. Says nutrition doesn't have to be complex, despite all the confusing marketing from the food industry. But finding truly healthy, unprocessed food, that's getting rarer.
The book is pretty critical of the food industry, isn't it? Profit over health.
Very critical. Argues the drive for profit leads to hyper-processed foods with little real nutrition, leads to being overfed but undernourished, lots of calories, not enough actual nutrients.
And those labels,
Yeah.
low fat, often hiding tons of sugar or chemicals.
Exactly. Distractions. He calls out preservatives like BHA, BHT, lists potential health risks, kidney liver damage, immune issues, cancer risk, asks why they're allowed, concludes it's profit, not health, uses total cereal with BHT as an example, even though BHT is banned elsewhere, and in U.S. baby food.
Wow. There's an analogy comparing artificial food to fake flowers. Looks similar, no substance.
Yeah, powerful image. And it's not just junk food. Even natural stuff, fruits, veggies, meat, can be far from natural due to industrial farming.
Like conventional cattle farming.
Yeah.
Confined, grain-fed, antibiotics, hormones.
Paints that picture. Contrasts it with idyllic images. Says those contaminants can pass to us through meat and milk.
Fish, too. Often called healthy, but contamination concerns.
Big concerns. Dioxins, mercury, PCBs from pollution. Recommends avoiding high mercury fish. Trim fat, choose fresh wild fish over farm-raised frozen canned if possible. Critiques marketing of farm-raised fish, says their diet is often poor, lower omega-3s. Gives a short list of safer fish, but says check local advisories. Suggests limiting fish, maybe supplementing fish oil.
So it's a worrying picture. What about organic? Is that the answer?
It's generally better, follows rules for ecological balance, minimal synthetic inputs, but organic doesn't guarantee higher nutrition always, and there's still some concerns about certain pesticides or waxes even in organic.
So still need to be discerning. What about labels like grass-fed versus organic beef?
Good point. Grass-fed beef, even if not certified organic, might be nutritionally better than organic grain-fed beef. Grass-fed tends to have more vitamin E, beta-carotene, better fatty acid profile, ideally. Get both grass-fed and organic. Or grass-fed, hormone antibiotic-free, same logic for poultry and eggs. Free-range, organic feed, access to natural diet, bugs. Organic label ensures no toxic feed, no hormones, antibiotics. Vegetarian feed isn't natural for chickens.
Okay, what's the single biggest dietary change recommended?
Getting rid of white flour products, period.
Why so bad?
Stripped of nutrients, fiber, fats, vitamins, minerals, just empty carbs. Often binds unhealthy ingredients. Marketing tricks, low fat, hide sugar, chemicals, unhealthy fats like hydrogenated oils linked to cholesterol issues, insulin problems. Advice extends to all processed carbs. White flour, white sugar, milled grains. They're unnatural. clarifies. This isn't anti-carb. It's pro-natural carbs from fruits, veggies, organic whole grains.
Even switching to regular whole wheat isn't enough.
Better, but still issues with pesticides. Processing stripping nutrients. Strongly recommends organic whole wheat bread. Read labels carefully. Avoid typical supermarket bread.
Okay, another controversial one, dairy. Pasteurized milk isn't the health hero we thought.
Book challenges that hard. Says pasteurization and homogenization strip nutritional benefits. Best choice. Fresh, organic, raw, unpasteurized, unhomogenized milk.
Why is homogenization bad?
Breaks up fat globules, increases surface area, leads to oxidation. Some researchers link that to heart disease. Processed supermarket milk is far from natural.
Why pasteurize then? Historically for safety.
Yeah, over 100 years ago, sanitation was poor, diseases spread via milk. Argues modern tech makes it unnecessary, but industry keeps the myth going to control market via expensive processing rules, hurting small farms.
Is raw milk safe now?
Cites California distributing raw milk with no illness outbreaks. Contrast that with numerous outbreaks linked to pasteurized milk in recent decades. Recommendation: find a local raw milk source, stop pasteurized dairy. Points to realmilk.com.
That's a big shift in thinking for many. What about counting calories, macros? Obsess much.
Advises against it. Says eating natural, whole foods provides the right balance automatically. Author felt better after stopping meticulous tracking, just focused on quality food. Focus on balanced meals of whole foods, not specific ratios. Too much or too little of anything causes issues. Balance is key.
So final practical tips.
Eat food as natural as possible. Avoid processed. Prioritize organic. Shop the perimeter of the store. Even non-organic natural food is better than processed junk.
Making it affordable.
Argues it doesn't have to be way more expensive, save money. Water over soda, oatmeal over cereal. Cook more, eat out less. Need fewer supplements if diet is good. Author saved money ditching supplements after going organic. Cook big batches for leftovers.
Any sample meals.
Gives us examples. Breakfast like oatmeal with nuts, raisins, honey. Lunch, leftovers or sandwiches on organic whole wheat, fruit, veg. Dinner, chicken, beefish with fresh veggies, salad, maybe organic brown rice yams, chili, stew, soup, organic whole wheat pasta sometimes.
Pasta's okay sometimes.
Yeah, he's Italian. Enjoys organic whole wheat pasta in moderation. Weight loss gain. No need for calorie counting. Use common sense. More activity, less food to lose. Gradually more food to gain. Switching to natural food often leads to weight loss anyway by cutting out sugary drinks, white flour.
Summing up nutrition.
The world is polluted, can't avoid everything, but become educated consumers, minimize exposure. Consumer demand drives change. More demand for organic natural means more supply, maybe lower prices eventually. Organic is growing. Big stores are noticing.
Wow. Okay, deep dive on food too. Let's bring it all together. Training plans. The book uses a conjugate model. What's that?
Means training multiple things at once. Simultaneously developing different strength types, endurance, other athletic qualities, not just focusing on one thing at a time. He gives a sample 5-day cycle based on this. 4 training days, 1 rest day.
What's the structure of that week?
Day 1, integrated circuit training, ICT blend of strength and conditioning. Variety is key. Use a new workout each cycle. Day 2, maximal strength tailored to you. Day 3, conditioning, enhanced interval training EIT, run resistance combo. Day 4, explosive strength plyos, power moves. Day 5, rest.
Seems balanced. And there are sample ICT and EIT workouts.
Yep. ICT examples, deck of cards workout, upper-lower body circuits, time challenges, Tabata stuff. EIT examples, burpee run combos, push-up run combos, plyomed ball slam combos. Encourages experimenting, creating your own routines too.
And the strength days, 2 and 4. More principles than specific routine.
Exactly. Highly individual. Max strength day. Lower reps, harder variations of push-ups, squats, pull-ups, explosive day. Plyos, jumps, throws. Listen to your body. Keep varying push-ups. Maybe use band squats instead of assisted one-leg squats. Higher reps for band good mornings. Suggests integrating core work. Start with hardcore stuff. Finish with easier.
What if 5 days is too much? Is there a 3-day option?
Yes. A sample 3-day full-body routine. Focus on compound moves. Can use the sample strength workouts within this structure. Suggests adding ISO mini workouts or core work on off days or within the main sessions.
And for total beginners?
There's a simplified beginner plan, specific exercises, rep ranges, 2 main training days, 1 conditioning core day, optional 3rd training day, rest day, easier entry point.
So the overall message on plans is, use these as templates, but make it yours.
Absolutely. These are samples. Use the info, create a plan for your goals, your abilities, you're your own best trainer, define goals, write them down, make a plan, then points to a FAQ chapter next.
Okay, that wraps up our deep dive into Never Gymless. It's really clear bodyweight training is incredibly versatile, effective.
No.
Doesn't matter if you have equipment or not.
Yeah, we saw how you can hit all those different strength qualities, explosive power, endurance with just your body, maybe a pull-up bar, some bands, and the core principles matter. Progression, variety, mixing in conditioning, and of course, nutrition. It all works together.
It was a lot to cover, definitely comprehensive. We really hope listeners will maybe revisit parts that clicked with their own goals or situation.
So here's a final thought, something to chew on. Look at your current routine. How could you maybe slip in just one or two things we talked about today? A new exercise, a different principle. Challenge yourself differently.
Yeah, think about your body as this amazing adaptable tool, probably capable of way more than you think right now.
Exactly. And hey, if questions come up as you explore this stuff or you want to share how it's going, feel free to reach out.
Definitely. Thanks everyone for joining us on this deep dive.